Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Boltzmann, and this is Art 1 class at Lapeer High School. And we are on Lesson 1, and we're going to do Part 2 of Lesson 1. So the first part of this lesson, we did a foreshortened circle and a marshmallow dude, and we did a foreshortened square and then a simple table. If you haven't done these two, please do those first, and then you can follow up with this second video. The second video, I'm trying to go a little quicker. The first one took a long time to explain all of those things. The second one, we're going to do some review. So this is actually a little bit easier. So what we did with this marshmallow guy, if you remember, when you take a circle and you bring it forwards like this, as I bring this forwards, it appears to get shorter. That's called foreshortening. Foreshortening is one of the drawing terms that we have that really helps to explain some of the simple and complex things of drawing. So it's foreshortening. So we're going to start out with this drawing. We're going to do a candle. And it's going to be a simple candle. Let me get a little bit closer here for you. And I would like it if you would just draw with me. That's what I do when I'm in class. When we return to class, that's what we'll do. So just draw with me. The problem here is I can't see what you're doing. So I can't walk around the class and help people who are having troubles. So you're going to have to talk to me in Zoom meetings about that and show me where you're having some troubles, and I can help you with that. All right. This is going to start out with a foreshortened circle at the top. So I'm going to start with two dots about a finger apart, maybe a finger and a half apart, like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two dots, and I'm going to put a foreshortened circle. Remember, it's squished. It doesn't come to a point like a football. It's just rounded. It's just a squished circle. Now for this candle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two lines straight down. Now you have to kind of watch this fold line over here. You can tell where that line is straight up and down, and that will help you. You can look at over here the edge of your paper. That will help you so that you don't end up with it at an angle. One of the problems that people have sometimes is they put their paper at an angle and then they draw straight up and down, and it ends up being all crooked. So I'm going to take this candle straight down like this. I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to round the bottom. When you round the bottom, this is very similar to what we did up here with a marshmallow dude. He's just long and stretched. So this would be like a long stretched tube cylinder, but I'm going to turn it into a candle. Now before I do that, I'm going to put a base underneath it. So I want this candle sitting on some kind of a base. So right from this point here, you see the bottom point where this starts to curve. I'm going to come over here to the right, and I'm going to put a dot, not quite a finger over, a little bit less than that. And I'm going to come over to the left, straight over, and I'm going to put a dot there. And these dots, these guidelines really help you. Mark Kistler taught me how to do this, and he said that his instructors taught him how to do it. So these things have been passed down from art teacher to art teacher to art teacher, and they really work. So in the bottom, I'm going to put kind of like a big smile there. And then up here, I'm going to continue. It's going to come out and it's going to overlap just a little bit up into that candle. So now it looks like a really tall top hat it could be. You could turn it into lots of things, but we're just going to go straight down and straight down, and I'm going to turn this into a candle holder down here. So this candle is sitting on a candle holder, just a little bit like that, and that works really well. And then up at the top, I'm going to add up here, I'm going to put a little wick. I'm going to have a little bit of a curve. I'm going to put a flame up here. With the flame, it's just kind of like a teardrop. It's just a curve, and then a curve, and then I'm going to do an upside down smiley face or an upside down curve. So my candle is kind of bending over so it doesn't run into the lettering up there. Now, you could, if you want to, you could put a handle on this candle like you see right here, you could come up and take a couple lines down and do some things. If you would want to add some different elements to this, it's fine. I'm going to keep these videos really simple so that you can get them. Now, I'm going to put a light source on this from the right-hand side. I know there's a little bit of light coming from the candle, but there's also a light in this room. So I'm going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, darker on the left-hand side. Now remember, this is going to have a hard edge here on the left-hand side, and it's going to have a softer edge on the right-hand side. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see it. As it comes over to the right, you're going to lift up your hand. Don't push down as hard. And you can go up and down here. I'm just kissing the paper. Just kiss that paper a little bit. Just barely touch it. And then as you go over to the left, it's going to get darker. As you come over to the right, it gets lighter. You can kind of have some fun with that. Another thing that you can do with this is you can take and you can go around kind of an edge. This is kind of a shadowing technique that uses the curve, that uses the edge. And that is using surface lines, finding the surface to help to shade it. Now I'm also doing a cross hatching. Whenever you go one direction, it's called hatching, and if you go a second direction, it's called cross hatching. And you can even go at an angle here. And then what I like to do sometimes is take my finger, and I'll just take my finger and I'll blend that a little bit. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so that's a nice soft edge there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. You can go in multiple directions. You can go up and down. You can go and take it at an angle. You can take it as rounded, but you want to get it lighter and lighter and lighter as it comes over to the right. You want it pretty dark over there on the left. Now, I'm also going to add a little cast shadow here. This cast shadow is going to come across in direction northeast. If you remember your directions from part 1 of this lesson, that northeasterly direction goes like this. And if I move it off of there, see, it's pretty much the same angle. So that's going to come across like this, and then it's going to come and drop down. That's a little trick you can do with shading. It's going to come over, down, and I'm going to take it over this way again just a little bit. Now I'll take it around the edge of that shadow there. All right, now up here way at the top, if you want to get a little bit more details, you could put a little curve under here where that wax is burning, and you could put a little shadow in there where it would have a little dip, and that helps it. You can even put a little bit of value up in that flame. You can make some lines coming out of it like that. That's kind of cool. And then the last thing I want to do here is about, maybe just a little bit up from the stand. I'm going to put a line across there for a table. So now I created another whole distance, another whole perspective with the table. Okay, so that's a simple candle. And we have one more drawing for today, and then this will be the end of lesson 1. This drawing, I'm going to do a stack of boxes, kind of like this. It's a little bit light, but this is going to be a stack of boxes. Now, this is what I didn't have for you with the first part of the lesson. If you take just a regular block, you can see it's a square. If I turn it this way, it turns into a diamond. As I bring this up and bring it forwards, watch what happens. Look at the top of that box. The top of the box now gets more and more and more like a squished diamond. You see that? And if you look at the angles here, this angle right here goes northeast, and this angle right here, see it, goes northwest. So that's where those northeast and northwest, and you can see how this part here looks squished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some practice with boxes. These are just kind of fun to do. I'm going to do 3 boxes, one on top of the other one, and I'll show you how this works. All right, put 2 dots. I'm going to do one little box, and then a bigger box, and then a bigger box. So I'm going to put 2 dots here, about 1.5 fingers apart, maybe 2 fingers apart. I'm going to put 2 dots, and then I'm going to put a dot up and down right through the middle, and that's not even 1 finger apart. That's pretty small. Okay, so then I'm going to go northeast, northwest, northeast, northwest. All right, remember your directions. Northeast, northwest. I review a lot here. Northeast and northwest. So now I'm going to come straight down, straight down, straight down. This part of the box here comes down further, just like this one did, because it's closer to you. All right, so now from here, I'm going to go northeast, northwest. You may want to pause the video right now and just catch up with that if you're having a hard time. If you're able to follow, that's great. All right, now here's the trick. To put this box on top of another box, come over here to the corner. All right, see the corner right there. I'm gonna make this a little closer for you so you can see it. There we go. That's about as big as I want to go. From this corner, come over here to the right, straight out to the right a little ways, not even a finger length. Come over here to the left a little ways, so they're out. And then come down just a tiny bit, just a little tiny bit come down, not as far as that. So I'm going to go northeast, northwest. Whoops, all right, that got off a little bit. So if you make a mistake like that, there's this really cool invention called an eraser that fits on the back of a pencil. It comes in many forms. You can use an eraser like this is a Factus eraser. You can even use an eraser like this, which is a kneaded eraser, which I'll show you guys when you get back to class. These are fun to use. But erasers are awesome, and I use them all the time. And most artists that I know love erasers because they really help. All right, back here, I'm going to go northeast and northwest, and that's a little tricky to do those two lines. You might have to practice that a little bit. So there's the start of my next box. I'm going to come straight down, straight down, straight down, northeast and northwest. All right, very good. We're going to do it one more time. So as I lift this up a little bit, you can see, you don't need to see the very top. I'm going to do the same thing. From this corner, I'm going to come out a ways. From this corner, I'm going to come out a ways. And then from this corner, I'm going to go down just a little bit, tiny little bit there, just a little bit. Just go down a little. Northeast, northwest. When you practice these lines and you start to get a little familiar with them, northeast, northwest, you can start to build all kinds of really cool buildings. You can build landscapes. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. All right, so I'm going to go straight down, straight down, straight down. You can start to see the whole thing. And then here I'm going to go northeast and then go northwest. And there's your stack of 3 blocks. I'm going to put a light source on it from this side. So I'm going to put some shadow here. You can add other elements to this if you want to turn these into buildings, and you can add windows. You can always do more. If you really like doing this kind of drawing and you want to go way past what I'm doing here, that's fine. So I'm just going to go up and down, and then I'm going to go this way, direction northwest. And then I'm going to do this here one more time. And that helps this stack of blocks to look a little bit more three-dimensional. I don't want this video to run too long, but this gives you some ideas of some things that you can do. You can even use your finger here a little bit, and you can rub inside of there if you want to rub that. You could put some cast shadow here, here, and there. That helps it a little bit more. That looks a little bit more realistic. And then if you really, really want to get kind of have some fun, you can go and put in like a doorway here. I'm just going to do an arch. And then I'm going to do a little angle back here going northwest and do a little line down right there. And look, you can make a little door in there. If you don't get the door done, that's okay. That's kind of extra thing. That's kind of extra. And you could put a foreshortened circle here and a foreshortened circle here. And then you can put some of these little lines on the inside like that. and you can make them look like little portholes. And you can do ladders. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. All right. You can even kind of make them look like a robot if you want to. But there's a stack of 3 boxes, and this concludes lesson 1. All right. So lesson 1, whoops, let's go smaller. Lesson 1, when you turn it in, what I'd like you to do is take a picture of this with, on a digital camera, or you could make a copy on your computer if you want to, and then send it to me on Google Classroom. All right, send it to me on Google Classroom. And this is 2 days of work. This would be like a Monday and a Tuesday, or a Tuesday and a Wednesday if we're starting a little bit later. But this would be for Monday and Tuesday. And then I'll have another lesson 2, and we'll do 2 lessons the first week. That will be fine. So I hope you had a little fun with this. Like I said, if you get stuck, pause it, and then just try to draw with me and send that to me at the end when you're done with it, and I will take a look at it. Thank you so much.